evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Backwards Hat Productions. I am Bradley Wilson. Tonight, it's the Ram Series UMP Modifieds, Knoxville, Iowa, the Knoxville Raceway. Are you ready to see some racing? Welcome back after the long delay. Has been a little under the weather, but I'm back with you tonight. We're going to bring you some great action with the UMP Modifieds. Got about 14 of them on hand right now as they continue to make practice laps. On top of the board, you're going to see Brad Doss in the driver out of the Mid-South region. In 1 second here, we're going to pull up our ticker. This is what happens when you've been away for a minute. We will get the ticker up and going for y'all though. Get it ready to go. As you can see, cars still making their way. Practice got a few minutes left of that. We're going to get some driver interviews up here shortly. Bear with me as we fix the ticker problem. We threw out the little teaser. We hoped all of you had see just who had missed us, and we hope everybody's having a great day as we're here on a Thursday night for a little open wheel modified action. Give me 1 second here. Like I said, I'm working with the tickers as you watch some great practice action. These guys ready to go, as I know we are as well. There we go. We've got a ticker, ladies and gentlemen. There you're going to see it. Brad Doss up on top of the board in the 026. The Rocky Top Outlaw, Eric Tupper, second quickest in practice right now. They've got about 8 minutes left. You're tuned into the pre-race show. We're going to get a few, get caught up on what we've missed here as we're out together. Tell you what, first and foremost, what we're going to do is take a look at the schedule and show you where they're at. They're here tonight, week number 3, 40 laps from Knoxville, Iowa, the Knoxville Raceway. Set to come your way. You'll see qualifying heat races, the dash, and then some 40-lap A-main. Next week, they'll be at the famous Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio, Volusia. The dirt track at Charlotte, Lanier, and then the new addition everybody's excited about, the Kokomo Speedway. Last week's winner. Let me dumb this down just a little bit here. Give me 1 second. It wasn't that big when I was looking at it earlier, folks. There you go. Last week, USA, it was the 56 car of Craig Gillickson is what we'll say until I can get a proper pronunciation. Through 3 weeks of racing, he is also your points leader. Torn Shirt second, Chris Lewis third, Thomas Carberry fourth in the points, and fifth will be Eric Tupper. UMP action, as always, brought to you by Russell Brown Race Cars. Tell you what, let's not waste any more time. Let's get a talk with last week's winner. Well, I said that. Don't believe I see a radio channel for him. So, see, we'll take a look at the point standing. We'll find somebody to talk to. Let's talk to Torn Shirts. Always a fun guy to talk to. Torn Shirts, Bradley Wilson Backwards Hat Productions. You got a copy, brother man?
Yes, I do.
Well, brother, I see you. Although I haven't been here, I looked at the point standings, been following it on social media. I see you coming in tonight, second in points. Give us a little rundown of the first 2 weeks of racing you've had, and what all we've missed going on with Torn Shirts.
Yeah, week one we were there at Lima Land and had a good car all night long. Come feature time, I was a little farther back than I wanted to be. Was able to catch some speed a little higher than others and start running down Kyle, who ended up winning the race, and finished with a solid second. Last week had a really fast car, started on the pole, and Grandma had a little surgery she was going through, and my mind wasn't right, so I went before the green flag there and started off leading first 4 laps, and then got black flag, went all the way to the tail end of the field, and worked my way back up to 9th before the end of the night. So up and down season so far, but looking for some speed tonight.
Well, man, I know, we came here for the Harris Clash, and definitely a guy to reckon with all night long. Took the big gamble, paid off big for you. Also championship-wise, I know you know how to get things done here, and winning the Street Stock Championship, the first one we covered with you guys, and then just always in the hunt. Is it any different this season, or is it just still kind of business as usual?
Well, definitely business as usual. Just hopefully I don't miss a race like I did in sprint cars and cost myself a chance at a championship. So I'm just hoping to be able to run every night or every week, I guess, and then see where I can end up.
Well, man, we're gonna let you get down there, turn some more practice laps. When I come in, saw you sitting second in the points, and thought, man, we got to get a talk with him. So good luck tonight, brother, and put on a show.
Absolutely, and glad to have you guys back.
Yes, sir. We are happy to be back, I can tell you that. It's been a long road to get here, but back in action and ready to see my favorite car of all on dirt, the Modifieds.
All right, that's what I like to hear. The mods are my favorite, too.
Heck yeah. Well, good luck, sir.
I appreciate it.
Once again, that was Torn Shirts, member of the Midwest Racing Development Stable. Second in points currently. I tell you what, let's get a talk with Mr. Brad Doss, who is currently sitting on top of the board. Brad Doss, this is Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, I was looking at times, got that thing hooked up. So far as you're sitting on top of the board tonight, what's the track like out there?
It's beginning to slick off a little bit, and I'm actually kind of struggling a little bit.
Well, this track has that characteristic right around the bottom berm, throttle control, bottom lane dominant. Do you feel like that's probably what we're in for tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be on the bottom side. I'm not seeing the top side coming in yet.
Well, man, like I said, we're back in action with you guys. We saw you on top of the board. We wanted to get a word with you real quick. Before we let you go, though, man, is there anybody you want to give a shout-out to out there or anything like that?
I would like to give a shout-out to Understood Motorsports and you guys for broadcast and Ram for the host.
Yes, sir. Well, good luck, sir, and who knows, a little luck, maybe we'll be talking to you as our Quick Time Award winner here coming up shortly.
You betcha.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Brad Doss. He is sitting on top of the board right now in the 026 car with a 19.49. Eric Tupper, the Rocky Top Outlaw, with a 19.519. Tupper definitely looking to have some success here tonight. And I tell you what, make him our next subject of topic, so to speak here. Eric Tupper, this is Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, the long-awaited return from Backwards Hat Productions. We're here tonight, Knoxville Raceway. Are you ready to put on a show?
I hope so. I hope I can run up front with these guys.
Well, man, running up front right now seems to be just another walk in the park Eric Tupper styles. You're sitting second quickest on the board. How's the track out there?
Oh, it's definitely getting slick, and it's coming around to what I really kind of worked towards this week for how the setup's going to play. But I don't know, it's just something seems different, and the setup doesn't seem to want to work like it was.
Well, man, I know with Kyle Ramsey, the weatherman up there, changes can always occur. You drivers go through a lot of elements. So good luck tonight, man. We wanted to get a quick word with you before qualifying. See just how that 115 car was running.
Oh, it's not doing too bad. We're glad to have you back.
Yes, sir. I am happy to be back. It's been a long road, but like I said, we're here tonight ready to call one of my favorite cars on the dirt, the UMP mod. So looking forward to it and looking for another show out of the Rocky Top Outlaw.
Well, hopefully I can put one down for you.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm sure I'll be talking to you later on in the night, so good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
Once again, that was Eric Tupper, the Rocky Top Outlaw, in the 115 car. We've got 15 cars who have timed in. You see Torrin Shirts out there making some laps in the 33 car, among some of the others. As it looks like practice is going to come to an end here, we're fixing to see some qualifying. Ladies and gentlemen, who's going to take home the Quick Time Award tonight? 15 stout cars throughout this field. There you see Jared Bourbon, the number 37 car. Out of the Midwest region, Ronald Piles in the number 68 out of West Virginia. Cars begin to roll to the grid now. Brett Rolls. Jeffrey Lanham out of Ohio in the 72. You saw him in the Harris Clash. There's Joseph Halsey. As it looks like Burba is going to be the first person to take us out on the track in that number 37 car. You see him come out of turn number 1, down the back straightaway. Going to run it right through the slick in 3 and 4. Burba going to use the berm just a little bit. Rockets down the front straightaway. Green flag in the air. Also out there is the Rocky Top Outlaw, Eric Tupper out of the Tennessee in the 115 car. But we're going to work it through 3 and 4, right up along the cushion, using the high side, top shelf down the front straightaway. First time turned in tonight's going to be a 20.763 for Burba, as we're going to go on board now with the Rocky Top Outlaw, Eric Tupper. Watch him work it through 1 and 2. Tupper's going to use the bottom right up along the berm, where I expect to see a lot of these guys. That's going to get him quick time so far with a 20.361. Jared Burba going to complete his second lap. Won't improve, however, he will remain second on the board for the time being. Tupper's still going to be your quick time. Ronald Piles going to be out there as well in the 68 car. He's joined by the 17 of Brett Rolls. Rolls going to come off turn 4 now, right down the front straightaway up against the wall. Rolls, another one of them drivers, going to use the cushion through 3 and 4. Look, a little top shelf action. Meanwhile, we'll go back to Ronald Piles, who is using the bottom. Now he's going to kind of run it up. You see him get that nice little arc right there towards the berm. That's where you want to be, folks. Ronald Piles second on the board with a 20.573. Now Brett Rolls going to go to second on the board with a 20.456. Great run for the driver out of the Mid-South region. Going to look for a little pay dirt tonight here in Knoxville, Iowa. the Knoxville Raceway. Another guy looking for a little pay dirt, that's Jeffrey Lanham out of Ohio. He's in the 72 car. Gonna work it through 1 and 2 right up along the cushion there. Now gonna kind of make that arc. Here he comes, fires it down the back straightaway. Collects the wall just a little bit. Meanwhile, another driver out there with him. That's the 53 car of Cody Olson out of the Northwest region. Right now, they set 5th and 6th on the board in your time chart. Lanham just completes his second lap. No improvement. Meanwhile, we'll stay on board here with Cody Olson in the 53 car. Olson's going to go up to 4th quickest on the board with a 20.583. A few more cars going to join him out there. One of them is going to be Christopher Lewis in the 28 car out of Ohio. Get a look at some of the onboard cameras. This is a new one, folks, right there. Look at Chris Lewis work that wheel. That's looking at the left front. You see the spring, the shot, go to work on the 28 car. Lewis going to run it down in 3 and 4 right through the slick. Now he's going to kind of float it up a little high there towards the cushion. He's joined out there by the 20 car of Alex Bridger out of the Midwest region. As we continue to see cars roll onto the track. There we go. We got the 56 car of Craig Gillickson. He was last week's winner. We're going to get an interview with him. He's also your points leader coming into tonight out of the Midwest region in the 56. He's joined out there by the 026. That was your fast time in practice, Mr. Brad Doss. Look at that rear end flex on the 56 car of Gillickson. He's going to work it right around the bottom there. Looks good coming off turn 4. We're going to see if maybe we got a little improvement. Meanwhile, Brad Doss going to go to the top of the board with a 302. Gillickson's going to go to 3rd on the board. As out there now, there he is, Torrin Shirts in the 33 car Midwest Racing Development entry. He was your street stock champion in our first season with this series, has been making waves ever since. He's joined out there by the 46 car of Thomas C. Carberry out of New Jersey. Torrin Shirt's going to go to 3rd quickest on the board. Carberry 4th quickest. Here we go. We're going to jump on board with Torrin Shirts. As you see him come off of turn 4, looking at the line this time. Torrin Shirts will remain 3rd on the board. As now we're going to jump on board with the 24 car, Trevor Shaken Baker out of the Plains region, the head of Midwest Racing Development. See what Shaken Baker can do. Carberry's going to set 4th on the board. He's going to be joined out there by the 01 of Justin Howard. Howard going to throw it off into turn 1 and 2, right around the bottom where you see a lot of these guys working. Look at that. Trevor Baker got her hung out through 1 and 2, trying to work the bottom, see what he can get out of it. See the rear end do a little flexing down the back straightaway. Here we go, 3 and 4. He's going to work right along the bottom berm there. Gets that nice little arc, and it'll be Justin Howard, meanwhile, is going to go to the top of the board in the 01 car. Trevor Baker going to be 13th quickest. Checkered flag in the air. Justin Howard is going to be tonight's Quick Time Award winner, I believe. We'll see. Joseph Halsey's actually yet to qualify. May have been a little premature there. We're getting them all qualified in. There's the driver out of the Midwest region, Joseph Halsey, in the 23 car. Team going to work the bottom much as everybody else has. Folks, we'll go up to the blimp shot. Actually, I tell you what, we'll go chopper shot. Look at that rubbered in racetrack already starting to lock down. It's bottom dominant here at the Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. And it's proven to be just that tonight. Get you a good look from on top of the tower. Right about where I'm sitting, we called this the Bradley and Robbie can in the Knoxville Harris Sim Clash. As you get a good look at Halsey, going to come off turns 3 and 4. Halsey going to be 13th quickest on the board right now. 14 of you out there watching in our comeback to the Ram Series. We sure appreciate it. Hey, drop me a line out there. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You know we always like to talk to you guys. If you know somebody who may want to see some of this action who hasn't tuned in yet, feel free to share the link out, get them in here. It's race night as we're going to get set and talk to Justin Howard, who is your pole center quick time. Justin Howard, this is Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Well, I sure do.
Well, man, you had the 01 car dialed in for qualifying as you're going to pick up tonight's quick time award. Sure looks like it's headed the right direction so far, man.
Yeah, it sure is. I just got to give a shout out to my team, the Understeer Motorsports guys. That's Brad Dawes, Craig Olson, and Kyle Vollringer, which he is not here tonight. But we've been putting some time into these cars, that's for sure. And believe it or not, this is my first Fast Time Award, so I'm pretty pumped up.
Heck yeah, man. Well, congratulations on it. Glad we got to cover it for you. I got to ask you, you know, the track's already starting to look a little locked down, taking some rubber around the bottom. Do you feel like we're going to see multiple grooves? Do you feel like we're going to see the classic Knoxville Raceway slug it out around the bottom and, you know, use the old chrome horn if you have to?
Well, I think we'll see multiple grooves, but I think it's going to stay on the bottom and maybe the middle. I ran this track yesterday, kind of the same setup as what we got here, and the top really didn't come in for me, so I definitely myself will not be up there railing that cushion unless absolutely needed to be.
Well, man, I hear that they're getting ready to call y'all for heat races, so you're going to start pole of heat race number 1. Good luck tonight, sir, and maybe we'll be talking to you a little later on.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Thanks, guys.
Once again, that was Justin Howard, driver of the 01 car out of the Midwest region, picked up tonight's Quick Time Award, so congratulations to him. I see you out there. The real voice of iRacing is back. Well, that's a high honor, and I sure appreciate it. Brett Rolls tuning in from the pits. Don't expect much out of the 17, having a rough time with the setup tonight. Plenty of time, Mr. Rolls, to get her dialed in as we get set to watch heat races coming up here momentarily. And see him start to grid. There's the 01 of Justin Howard. He's going to start from the pole as he'll start to make his way out, as well as the other drivers in heat race number 1. Looks like he's going to be joined out there on the front row by the Rocky Top Outlaw, Eric Tupper. Also, Thomas Carberry in the 47, Brett Rolls, and Ronald Piles look to make up heat race number 1. There you see it. Take a quick rundown through the grid here real quick before we turn these guys loose for heat race number 1. I believe we'll see 2 heat races on the night. I actually got a few late entries. We will see 2 heat races. Have a few more that have made their way out onto the track. There's Ronald Piles in that 68 car out of West Virginia. To his outside, he's going to have the 72 machine of Jeffrey Lanham out of Ohio. Joseph Halsey's going to be back there in the last row, and to Joseph's outside, he'll have the 20 car of Alex Bridger. As we get set to go, car's going to roll through 3 and 4 here. Nice little berm cam set up there as we get set to go racing, folks. Field going to come to life. Green flag in the air. Heat race number 1's underway. It's going to be Tupper with a slight advantage into 1 and 2. Justin Howard going to work around the bottom. Here comes Carberry. Carberry rolls. They're going to be side by side for third and fourth. Ronald Pyle's going to get into the fight just a little bit. As here we go, folks. Up front, it's all Eric Tupper, Justin Howard down into turn number one, lap one complete. Here comes Carberry. We're going to go 3 wide through 1 and 2 for just a second. Carberry now going to fall back just a little bit, rolls to the outside. All of this happening in front of Ronald Piles. We'll give you a little Ronald Piles onboard cam, show you what he's seeing right there from the decking. Look at Piles. He's going to work the bottom through 1 and 2. It's all Eric Tupper still out front. Howard chases him. Piles going to make it 3 wide into turn number 1. Look at this, right around the cushion, folks. There you see it. Now it's going to be Piles with a slight advantage over Rolls. Carberry still going to fight on the bottom. This battle for third, fourth, fifth. Good battle right here. Everybody's going to try to be in the top 3 right now, which is held down by Piles. That's going to get you into the dash. The dash going to set the top 6 spots in the A main, and everybody's fighting for it right now. It looks like it's Ronald Piles with a car to beat. See if he can hang on to it. There's a little action. I tell you what, folks, we'll get you a little more down and personal than that. How about this from the gear, or from right on top of the fuel cell, as they work through 3 and 4 again, off down the front straightaway. It's all Eric Tupper out front. Justin Howard going to see if he can reel him in, but Piles is coming. The battle for second is on. Piles took a look, nothing there. Carberry now going to be down the back straightaway with Piles. Into 3 and 4. It's going to be no change for your top 4 spots. It'll be Tupper, Howard, Piles, and Carberry. Good little look from Ronald Piles as he works the wheel right there around the berm. Carberry going to give chase once again. The top 4 single file. We're kind of single file out now through the whole field. Go up, take a look from the chopper. You see it there, the black part of the racetrack. That is laid down rubber. It's starting to lock down, folks. It's going to be a battle for the bottom. Carberry's going to get loose. Carberry got loose for just a second, gathered it back up, and that's going to allow Brett Rolls right back into this battle. It is the battle for fourth. Laps winding down. Tupper going to go top shelf now for the lead. You see him try to work the top. Justin Howard going to stay right around the bottom. There you see it. Howard going to work the bottom. Tupper to the top shelf. Laps winding down in heat race number 1. Meanwhile, we'll go back here. This is third place. Ronald Piles out of West Virginia, holding on to the dash spot. This is going to get him into the dash. He'll get to race for the pole a little later on in the A main if he can just hang on to it. And he bobbles just a... That is it, folks. That is going to be it. Your top 3, Eric Tupper, Justin Howard, your Quick Time Award winner, and Ronald Piles, all going to transfer to the dash where they will race for the starting spot, pole position in the A main coming up a little later. Folks, great racing with the UMP Modifieds tonight here at the Ram Series. That's what we like to see. We get set to see Brad Doss, I believe, going to lead us to the green in heat race number 2. Be joined by the 33 car of Torn Shirts. Your points leader in there as well in the 56 car, Craig Gillickson. There you see them. They're going to gather up down in the entrance of 1 and 2. And we're going to roll through your starting grid. There we were. Give me 1 second here as we try to get the on-feed cameras going to work here. On the front row, once again, you're going to have Brad Doss out of the Mid-South region. Starting to his outside, you're going to have the 33 car of Torrin Shirts. One row back from that, so we're going to find the 56 car. He is your points leader, Craig Gillickson, out of the Midwest region. To his outside, we're going to have the Ohio native, Christopher Lewis, in the 28. One row back from that, so we're going to find the 37 car of Jared Burba. To his inside, you're going to have the 53 car of Cody Olson. One row back from that is where you're going to find Trevor Shaken Baker. The rest of the field, green flag in the air, heat number 2 underway. Torrin Shirts going to fight for the bottom in 1 and 2. Everybody going to try to get down there early, and it's going to be Shirts with the advantage down the back straightaway. But here comes your points leader, Gillickson, as they go into 3 and 4. Here comes Brad Doss. He's going to make it 3 wide out of turn number 3. Torrin Shirts going to use the outside momentum early, powers by. There you see it as they're going to come down the back straightaway now. Look at that, fired off down the back straightaway. Gillickson's going to work the bottom. It's going to be all Torrin Shirts out front so far, but the battle is shaping up. Gillickson now going to work the bottom. Torrin leaves him just a little bit of room. He's going to try to run the berm right down there through 1 and 2. Makes it stick. We'll see what happens down here in 3 and 4. Gillickson now going to keep it straight. Power off of 3 and 4. Slide job, going to take over the lead. It'll be Gillickson do the lead here early on. Heat race number 2. Meanwhile, Brad Doss going to get a good look at the action in front of him in the 026 car, as he will run third. That is your third and final spot for the dash. Cody Olson going to work his way up through the field in the 53 car. Go on board with Olson now. Show you what he's seeing, folks. As look at him work through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Go back out. Cody Olson's going to run a little bit top shelf there. No definitive lines. Everybody kind of running a few different lines, although it's going to be Gillickson right around the bottom. Torrin Shirts now going to go top shelf. Arcs it to the bottom. He's going to try to get the run down the back straightaway on the 56 car. Nothing doing just yet, as we're going to go take a look right there from the top of the fuel cell of Craig Gillickson. Also give you one of the best seats in the house. Look right off the front bumper bars of the 33 car of Torrin Shirts. Shirts going to work it down the back straightaway now. Continues to hold down the second position. Brad Doss, the third and final transfer spot into your dash. Meanwhile, it's still Cody Olson going to be in 4th. Trevor Baker in 5th. And Christopher Lewis going to be in the 6th spot in the 28 car. See him work through 3 and 4 off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. A little bit of sights and sounds here from the Knoxville Raceway. Gillickson's now going to stretch the lead out. He's got about 4 car lengths on Torrin Shirts as they're going to work through 3 and 4 laps winding down. The real battle right now is going to be Cody Olson, as he's going to try to track down Brad Doss in this battle for the third and final transfer spot into tonight's dash. Olson's going to try to float it up just a little bit now, looking to the outside of Doss. However, Doss doing a great job at protecting that bottom berm. Rockets down the front straightaway. That's going to do it, folks. Heat race number 2. It'll look like this. Your points leader, Craig Gillickson, will bring home the win. Torrin Shirt's going to be second. Brad Doss third. Brad Doss was your fastest driver in practice. Said the car he felt maybe going away from him just a little bit. However, it is going to be good enough to get him into the dash coming up here momentarily. I tell you what, let's gonna talk with heat race number 1 winner before the dash starts. I can find his radio channel. Well, there he is. Eric Tupper, Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, I told you I'd be talking to you again. going out there, picking up the win in heat race number 1, man. Car coming to you just a little bit?
I made a couple adjustments, and it seemed like it liked it on that top side, so we're going to go with it.
Well, man, I see the blackened part of the racetrack get a little wider here. Kind of leads you to believe that maybe a cushion could be built. What do you think here for this dash, though? We're gonna go high, wide, and handsome. We're gonna go right there around the bottom.
I'm going to try to get to the high side, you know, try to get that start and go to the top side and see if I can't hold them off.
What I like to hear, high, wide, and handsome, that thin line from being fast and being in the wall. Eric Tupper, I know you're a man that knows how to master it. Good luck in the dash, sir, and never know, maybe be talking to you as a dash winner and starting from the pole in the A.
Or maybe.
Once again, that was the Rocky Top Outlaw, Eric Tupper. He picked up heat race number 1 win. And let's see, I believe they're going to be calling him to the staging area for the dash here momentarily. We'll try to get an interview with heat race number 2 winner, your points leader. I promise you folks, we're going to talk to the points leader eventually, as he picked up the win in heat race number 2. However, here we go. Your dash is going to get ready to grid up here. Looks like on the front row, Eric Tupper's going to have to start on the back due to the invert. So it's going to be Brad Doss in the 026 car. Going to lead us to the green. Ronald Piles will start to the outside of row number 1. Row number 2 is going to look like this. It'll be Torrin Shirts in the 33. And then it will be the 56 car. I believe the Chicken Pit Special, fastest chicken in the South. Little paying homage to Stroker Ace today, Burt Reynolds, who did pass away. So, cool thing to see out here with the 56 car. As we're waiting to get some more drivers on the grid right now, I believe. Looks like we are going to roll. I believe we have our set cars. Brad Doss going to lead him to the green flag. See if he can recapture some of that speed he had in practice. His outside will be the 68 car of Ronald Piles. Go on board with Piles as this race gets underway. Doss going to lead him down the control car. Green flag in the air. It's almost a dead heat, but it'll be Doss through. Hops the berm a little bit in 1 and 2. Piles going to now to try to fight back on the high side. Torrin Shirts, little contact with Doss. We're going to go into turn 3, almost 3 wide. It's going to be Ronald Piles top shelf so far. Brad Doss works the bottom. Torrin Shirts going to make a little line change there. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be Piles by just a little bit. Then Doss and Shirts. Here comes your points leader in the 56 car though. Craig Gillickson, he's going to be challenged by Eric Tupper. You heard Tupper just a second ago say he was going to try to get to the top, make things happen, as that's what he's doing right now. Gillickson going to continue to work the bottom. Shirt's going to get a nice little arc as he's going to motor by Gillickson for the 3rd position. Cover these cars with a blanket, folks, as this is your battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Tupper now right to the high side. You don't run much higher up on the track than Tupper did there in 3 and 4. Looking for anything that'll get him by. Meanwhile, here comes Ronald Piles, new leader out of turn number 2. The West Virginia native going to rocket into 3 and 4 using the top shelf. You see Piles listen to the throttle control as he works his way around this half-mile racetrack, Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville, Iowa. It's going to be all Piles now as Brad Doss still going to dig the bottom. Here comes Torrin Shirts. Shirts going to go back up to the top shelf with Tupper. You've got 3 right around the top, 2 on the bottom. We're going to see who's got the advantage here as laps wind down. It's still Ronald Piles out front. It's Brad Doss in 2nd. 3rd's going to be taken over by Craig Gillickson for just a second as he and Torrin Shirts going to go into 3 3 and 4, almost side by side. It's all Ronald Piles right now out front, though. The West Virginia native going to get it done in the dash. Actually, I believe, yeah, Ronald Piles going to get it done. Going to win your dash tonight. Torn Shirt second. It'll be the 56 car of Gillickson third. Fourth will be Eric Tupper. I tell you what, let's get a talk with heat race number 2 winner and your current points leader. Greg, this is Bradley Wilson in the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, before we get too far into this interview, give me the pronunciation of your last name so I don't butcher it all night long.
Gullickson.
Gullickson. I've been saying Gillickson, so we're close. Sorta. Gullickson, though. Craig Gullickson. Well, sir, I was looking through the point standings. I saw where you come into tonight leading those as we've been out for just a little bit, man. But tell us a little bit about your season here so far.
Lima Land was a little tough. I had a really good battle with my teammate Brad Doss and Torn Shorts. And there was one other guy, must have forgot his name, but yeah, we had a good battle there. I wound up 5th. And then last week I got the car even more dialed in and took home the win, so that's what got me the point lead.
Well, man, you're definitely putting on a convincing performance here tonight. You made the bottom work in heat race number 2, picked up the win there, made another dominating performance in the dash that's going to start you up towards the front. What do you think your chances tonight of maybe pulling out a victory are?
Well, I got to get back to the bottom. I don't think the top's going to be as good. I don't know, my car just seems to like the bottom and I can roll through it pretty good. But it's going to be hard to pass down there. I don't know if you could tell in the dash, but Doss was down there and I couldn't roll it like I wanted to. So if I can get by a couple guys and get back to that bottom, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, I've been telling these fans as the race goes on, we've been mentioning the amount of rubber that the bottom has taken. It's kind of widened out to the top, though, surprisingly enough. But do you think that, you know, we're going to see it, even though that groove's widening out, do you think it's going to lock down and we're going to see bottom side dominance like we usually do?
I don't know. I mean, the bottom's really hard to hit. You got to be really smooth and gentle with the throttle. So if you can't get in a good rhythm, I think the top will be better. But they're both pretty close right now. So.
Well, man, congratulations once again, as you are, like I said, coming into tonight. It's our first week back, but you are the points leader. Convincing runs through heat race number 2, picking up the win there, and also going to have a strong run in the dash. We'll look forward to you in the feature, sir, as the lights are going to come on, and we're going to go A-Main racing here shortly.
All right, thanks. Thanks for hosting it, or thanks for broadcasting it.
Yes, sir. Once again, that was Craig Gullickson in the 56 car. Give me just a second. There you see it, Chicken Pit Special. It's that nice little homage to Stroker Ace. I don't know if it's by divine plan or not, but as everybody knows, Burt Reynolds did pass away today. Stroker Ace, Bandit, whatever you want to call him, a great actor throughout many years of my childhood. So we're going to get set to go here. West Virginia representing. Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, we're going to get a talk with a West Virginia native right now. Ronald Piles. This is Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. How y'all doing tonight?
Well, man, we're doing good. Not as good as you, though. Going to put the field on recognition in the dash there. High, wide, and handsome getting it done. Got to think that 68 car's dialed in.
From time to time, it makes me wonder. This car, we haven't quite got it figured out yet, but with Brad Doss and Eric Tupper and Torn Shirts, and of course the I don't know, you just get into a good group of guys like this, and it just gets competitive. It's a lot of fun. Glad to have you guys back for sure. Adds to the experience and the level of fun that we get to have here as well.
Heck yeah, man, we're happy to be back. I'm looking at the point standings. I see you down there right around 17th. You know, we've missed a little bit of action. Give us a rundown for the season so far for you.
Last week was just kind of a show up and see how it goes. I've been out of the modifieds for a while. We finally decided, we've been out of practice in these. Let's let the modified up and come back after the Harris Clash and see what happens. It was kind of like we did a lot of practice for the Harris Clash though, so we'll see. This coming back here again with the new track surface it's definitely making a big difference.
Heck yeah, man. Well, good luck tonight, as that dash win's going to start you from the pole. So you're going to have going to be in the catbird seat, so to speak. Shaking the rust off there. Anyways, going to be in the catbird seat, so to speak. And after 40 laps, hopefully we're talking to you from victory lane, man.
Yep, I'll agree with you. Hopefully we get the rust to fall off, but I got a lot of competition and heavy hitters coming from behind me, so hats off to them as well. It's going to be a heck of a 40 lap show.
Heck yeah, man. Well, good luck, and we look forward to seeing you later on.
Most definitely.
Once again, that was Ronald Piles, the West Virginia native in the 68 car. As you see, you're going to see drivers continue to turn a little laps. As always, we're going to do a quick server change over here momentarily. So bear with us here. Tell you what, let's see if we can find somebody else to talk to. Let's talk to Chris Lewis. Chris Lewis, this is Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing?
Well, man, doing all right. Happy to be back in action with you guys tonight. As we saw you start a little deep there in heat race number 2. Looked like maybe you just couldn't get anything rolling. How's that 28 car feeling?
Oh, it feels really good. Just got a little bad luck going into one in that heat race. Just had to fight back a little. But I definitely got something for him when this feature gets going.
Man, I've talked to a lot of the drivers so far and asked them, Knoxville Raceway, this half-mile racetrack, bottom side dominant. Bottom side dominance usually where we see it, everybody right around the berm on the bottom. You got to be careful, work the throttle. It's almost like trying to work the cushion reverse style. Do you feel like we're going to see the bottom, or I saw, a lot of guys going to the top?
It's probably going to be a mix of it tonight. With that new update they gave us, change of surface, we can definitely move around and search for the grip. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm thinking the middle is going to come in more than the top and the bottom.
I'm glad you brought that up, as I was meaning to talk to some drivers about it. So we're going to actually talk to you about it now. You mentioned the update. The www.iracing.com server had a huge update that came out yesterday. I've talked to a lot of drivers even outside of this league, and they've said, man, the cars drive a lot different. The track wear is a lot different. You don't see it get as black as fast. How is it kind of a relearning process, even being into the 3rd week in a series like this, having something that big come out?
Yeah, it is a little bit. You just really got to get some practice in and figure out what the dirt's going to do now. The moisture falls off a lot different than it did in the last update. It's just going to be a searching game all night if you have these big races.
Well, man, you're definitely one of the guys that I know can get it done. I've watched you for a lot of time now, so good luck tonight, and we're definitely going to be watching you as you try to move through the field in the A main.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
Once again, that was Chris Lewis, the Ohio native in the 28 car. As we get set to go, you're seeing Jeffrey Lanham out there right now turning some practice laps. As they're doing the server changeover right now before the lights come on and we go A feature racing. Tell you what, let's talk to Brett Rolls. We hadn't got to talk to him yet. Brett Rolls, this is Bradley Wilson, the Backwards Hat Booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing, man. We're happy to be back here. UMP action. I've told everybody this is my favorite class of car on the dirt. I've just always enjoyed the modifieds. So happy to be back here, Knoxville Raceway. It feels like we were just here for the Sim Harris Clash, which you had a lot of success in. But I was talking to Christopher Lewis just now about that huge update. The iRacing.com had the huge season update come out last night. What's the differences out there as a driver?
You know, I mean, I really haven't noticed much as far as the changes in the track. I mean, the line's a little bit different. I jumped in the test server earlier and I was running a couple of laps just to see how much I would have to tweak the setup, you know, with the update. And I haven't really tweaked much. Eric did most of his tweaking. I ran his setup in the heat and dash and all that, and didn't really have too much success. I had a decent looking heat race there until I got 3 wide, and then it just started to crumble from there. But I'm gonna switch around to the setup that I ran for the Harris Clash and see if that can, you know, bring me up to the front. Figured, you know, starting at least 9th or worst, you know, what have I got to lose?
Well, man, I see here that looking at the point standings again, currently sitting 6th, right behind Tupper there in 5th. You know, we've missed a few weeks here. Give us a little rundown about the season for you so far and how it's been going.
Well, in my opinion, I feel I got the hard part of the season out of the way, and that was week 1 at Lima Land. That track, I cannot drive anything there without plowing off the whole right side of the body. USA, we did pretty good. Nobody had nothing for us in the dash, but we had a questionable call for the jump, and which sent me to 6th for the feature. I ended up finishing 3rd last Thursday, so basically just looking to ride some momentum into Knoxville and try to get a couple of points ahead of some people here and make a run for that top 5 in points.
Heck yeah, man. Well, like I said, it's exciting to be back. We're glad to be back, and hoping to, you know, watch you maybe find a little pay dirt here at Knoxville Raceway tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to be able to get my first career win. I mean, especially at a track as, you know, famous as Knoxville. I mean, this track is one of the most known tracks in my opinion. I mean, everybody talks about Knoxville, you instantly think of the Knoxville Nationals and the 410 sprint cars. But, you know, honestly, I've missed you guys the past 2 weeks. It's just not the same without the backwards hat guys here. But, you know, honestly, I think tonight's going to be a pretty good night. Just hoping to catch the right side of the trouble if there is any and be able to park it.
Heck yeah, man. Well, good luck once again as we've missed all you guys, and excited to go 40-lap feature racing.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Once again, that was Brett Rolls driving the number 17 car. As I was just informed, we're going to do our server changeover. We're going to do things a little different, as I'm not going to leave you with a lot of dead air tonight. We're going to go ahead and roll out our pre-race ceremonies before we get going here. So sit back, relax, give us a few minutes here to do the changeover, and we'll be right back with you here at Backwards Hat Productions.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. O'er the land
Well, I had just been informed that we had a sound issue. We've got it fixed now. Nonetheless, we did have an interview with Trevor Baker and a few others that we may not have had sound for, so we'll get it fixed momentarily, or it's fixed now. However, 40 laps of UMP action set to come your way. Ronald Pyle's going to lead us to the green flag. To his outside, he's going to have Torrin Shirts in the 33. One row back from that's where you're going to find Brad Dawson, the 026 car. To his outside, you're going to have the 56 of Craig Gullickson. One row back from that's where you're going to find Eric Tupper, the Rocky Top Outlaw, in the 115. To his outside, the 01 car of Justin Howard. One row back from that's where you're going to find Thomas Carberry in the 47 car. To Carberry's outside, you're going to have the 53 car of Cody Olson. One row back from that's where you're going to find the 17 car of Brett Rolls. To his outside, the man that we talked to, but you couldn't hear for the sound issues, evidently. Going to be Trevor Baker, shaking Baker out of the Plains region. One row back from that's going to be Jeffrey Lanham in the 72. To his outside, you're going to have the 28 car of Christopher Lewis. One row back from that's where you're going to find Joseph Halsey out of the Midwest region in the 23. To his outside will be Jared Bourbon, the 37, also out of the Midwest region. Alex Bridger is going to make up your final row in the 20 car, as he'll sit 15th, have the row all to himself. Here we go. We'll zoom out just a little bit. Pre-race fireworks in the air as we get set to go here. 40 laps, folks. Who you got? Going to be Ronald Pyle's Torrin Shirts leading us to the green. You see the Chevy Silverado pace truck. The lights are off on it. Switch over to the berm cam here as they're going to work their way through 3 and 4. Here we go, folks.
Green, green, green.
Green flag in the air. It's going to be Pyles and Shirts to lead us to it. Down into turn 1. Shirts going to pinch Pyles just a little bit. Pyles having none of it. Pyles out to the early lead. Now Short's going to gather it back up. Here comes Gullickson in the 56 car. Gullickson has Brad Doss behind him. Carberry, Tupper, and Rolls going to go side by side. That battle is for the 7th and 8th position. Just like that, running order changes up. It's all Ronald Pyles out front. Gullickson now going to work the bottom just a little bit. Going to start to try to reel in Torrin Shirts. Meanwhile, Carberry on the move as he's going to work the bottom in the 47 car under Brad Doss. Brad Doss was your quick time in practice. You heard him say he thought the car was going a little bit away from him. We'll see if he's got it dialed in come feature time under the lights. However, here comes Brett Rolls on the move as he's going to go around Tupper in the 115. Rolls now going to work the bottom, try to get up to Doss as they work down the back straightaway. Carberry's still going to be holding down the 5th position. It'll be Dawson 6th. Rolls and Tupper going to fight for 7th and 8th. Meanwhile, up front, it's still all Ronald Pyles in the 68 car out of West Virginia. As we almost go 3 wide, now they're going to single file it back out. It'll be Torrin Shirts in 2nd. Your points leader, Gullickson, in 3rd. See them work their way through 3 and 4. Well off the bottom as Ronald Pyles and Torrin Shirts. Meanwhile, you heard Gullickson say that he was going to try to utilize the bottom. He's got it rolling now. Look at the mud fly off the wall in 1 and 2. It's going to be Gullickson still trying to chase down Shirts. Meanwhile, Thomas Carberry's in 4th position. Here comes Gullickson. He's going to take a look to the bottom this time. Not quite going to get there. It'll be Shirts as he motors off the high side. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard them say the update kind of changed things. It's not bottom dominant anymore. It's going to be Piles, Shirts. They work the top shelf. Here comes Gullickson back around the bottom. It's going to start to take a little rubber now. We'll see if Gullickson can get it moving forward. The Chicken Pit Special number 56. Now Gullickson's going to join them top shelf. The top three going to run high, wide, and handsome through 1 and 2. Here comes Torn Shirts, though. He's not going to be content as he looks to the bottom in 3 and 4. Shirts now going to close the door on Gullickson. Piles going to skate away once again. A great battle throughout the top 3 as these guys are putting on a show. You've got 11 laps down, 30 laps to go. Right now, it's all Ronald Piles, Torn Shirts, and Gullickson. 1, 2, 3. Although Gullickson looks to have faded back just a little bit. Thomas Carberry now going to try to capitalize on that as he runs the bottom. Go on board the front bumper. Why not? With Thomas C. Carberry here of New Jersey as they rocket down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Look at that, right up on the berm cam. There you see it. People now going to try to go to the bottom. It's Piles and Shirts up top on a breakaway out front. Gullickson looking to do anything he can to try to close that gap. Meanwhile, here comes Torn Shirts. Battle for the lead down the back straightaway. Torn Shirts now going to duck in right behind Piles. It seems like the high line may be the line to take here tonight as Ronald Piles is flirting with it. That thin line from being fast and being wrecked. We've been all green flag through 14 laps. We've got 27 laps to go. It's going to be Piles, Shirts, Gullickson, your top 3. Carberry, Doss, Tupper, Rolls still round out your top 7. The battle is raging on here as laps wind down to be 26 to go. That time past the flag stand. Look at the mud fly off the wall as they destroy that cushion in 1 and 2. It's going to be Torn Shirts still trying to chase down Piles. Meanwhile, Carberry has caught the 56 car of Gullickson, and it's going to be Carberry now going to try to go to work for the 3rd position. Meanwhile, Doss still kind of just settled back there in the top 5 in the 026 car. We'll go on board with him, show you what he's seeing. Look at him throw it down into 1 and 2, or right around the bottom there as they're going to come powering off. You heard a few of them say it's a fine line. It's almost like running 2 cushions as you've got to be real precise with what you're doing as you try to run around the berm. Piles now going to work a little lower. Shirts going to give Shirts the top side. Battle for the lead starting to shape up. Shirts now going to take a look. Nothing there as Ronald Piles continues to lead this field. How about this shot right here off the roof of Piles? Shirts lays in wake as he's just kind of laying there waiting. Look at the mud fly off the wall there. Piles now going to work the high side. Shirts looked a little lower through 1 and 2 that time. Nothing doing. As we take a look at Trevor Baker. We're going to go back and take a look here for just a second as it's going to be Trevor Baker up to the 7th spot. One of the drivers we were going to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, Brett Rolls, who started out and had climbed his way up, has fallen back to the original starting spot of 9th. You see those 3 cars do battle right there. We're going to go up front now, cross flags. It's halfway. As your leaders work through 1 and 2, it's still Ronald Piles, Torn Shirts. The 56 car of Gullickson has moved into the 3rd position. That's going to drop Carberry back to 4th. Piles and Shirts going to work the top side. Gullickson still tries to work the bottom. A little further back, there is the 026 car of Brad Doss. Eric Tupper going to run the bottom. We'll see if Tupper can do anything with him here. Go front bumper cam, a muddy front bumper from the Rocky Top Outlaw Eric Tupper as he still rides around right about the 6th position. Look at that, folks, right from the top of the fuel cell of race leader Ronald Piles as they work through 1 and 2 once again. 17 laps to go. It's been all green flag so far. Great racing we're seeing all the way around as it's going to be Piles and Shirts now right there around the cushion. Neither one of them has left it for more than a second. You know, Torrance Shirts getting ready to throw it deep, sell it cheap. Not going to quite get there this time. It'll be Piles' motor off down the back straightaway. I was just fixing to say I know Torrance Shirts very well. He's not going to be content with sitting there in second. He's going to be looking for the move around Piles. When will he do it is the question. You've got to think every lap he's been sizing him up, trying to find the little disadvantage here or there. He's going to look to the bottom in 1 and 2 once again. Nothing happening. It'll be Piles back down the back straightaway. Still your race leader. Get a look at these three guys. Trevor Shakenbaker, Brad Doss, Eric Tupper. Here we go. Nose to tail once again. Shirt's going to try to get the run. Look at this from the front bumper of Torrance Shirts. Ronald Piles tries to hang on. Shirt's going to work him over now once again. Here we go. It's going to be Torrance Shirts looking low, not going to quite get there once again. Gullickson's made up a little time as it was well over a second and a half. It's been cut down just a little bit. The big question is if these guys start to race side by side, does Gullickson have anything to get up there in the fight? As your top three, and then you take a look back at Carberry. Carberry's fallen back just a little bit as he continues to run the bottom. Meanwhile, you've got the Rocky Top outlaw Eric Tupper, Brad Doss, and the 24 of Trevor Shakenbaker back here making. You heard Trevor Baker say that he was going to try to find a little real estate and call his own, and that's what he's doing as everybody's scattered out. Here we go once again. It's going to be a battle for the lead as we start to track it once again. Oh, Shirts and Piles contact. Gullickson going to get in on it now. Everybody's going to continue on. It's a little shuffle. It will see Torrance Shirts come away with a lead. However, you've got to think that wasn't a popular move in the mind of Ronald Piles. We're going to see if maybe he gives him a little something back. As we go through 3 and 4, once again, they came together there. They almost jumbled up for a second. It looked like Gullickson was going to play the spoiler. That allowed Carberry to come back into the picture. Oh, there goes Piles. He's going to try to run him up just a little bit. Nothing doing so far. Torrance Shirts, your race leader after Ronald Piles led it all the way from the green flag to lap number 29. It's all Torrance Shirts so far. We're going to see if Piles can do anything with him. I think this will probably be one of the best cameras in the house. The front bumper camera on Ronald Piles. See the damage to the 33 car of Shirts. A little bit of door damage there, nothing too major. As they're going to run through 1 and 2 once again. Almost left rear. Oh, Shirts has got a problem. Not exactly sure what happened to Torrance Shirts, but it's heartbreak for the 33. Meanwhile, back up front, it's 7 laps to go for Ronald Piles as Shirts is going to bring the 33 car to the pits. Here comes Gullickson back to the bottom now. Piles has the lead for just a second, but this all brought Gullickson right into the picture. Your points leader coming into tonight. We're going to see what he's got. 5 laps to go. Here comes Gullickson, going to throw it deep, sell it cheap. Nothing happening on the bottom. It'll be all Piles around the top side, high, wide, and handsome. Got 1 in the basement, 1 in the attic as they're going to come together now off of turn number 4. It's still Ronald Piles, your leader, inside of 5 to go. Make it 4 to go this time. Does Carberry have anything for either one of these guys? You ride on board with him. You see him there just kind of lying in wait because it's going to be Gullickson now to the bottom. Piles up top. Piles going to get the run off. Oh, Piles gets the wall just a little bit. Gullickson is there. Here we go through 1 and 2. 3 laps to go. Still Gullickson on the bottom. It's going to be Piles up top. Pyle's going to use the momentum of the cushion. Still tries to pull it off. Here comes Gullickson right around the bottom. Uses the berm. I told you, folks, it's two distinctive ways to drive this track. Both of them, you've got to be precise in your movements. As right now, it's all Gullickson and Piles. Look at them rocket down the back straightaway. Laps winding down. Into 3 and 4 they go. Gullickson gonna have a slight advantage. It's gonna be Piles at the line. Here we go, folks. This is for the money. Who's gonna bring it home? It's Ronald Piles gonna work the high side one last time. Here comes Gullickson down to the bottom. Gullickson's gonna hold it down there. No slide job's gonna happen this time, and it's gonna be Ronald Piles off of turn number 4. Ronald Piles picks up your A feature win in what had a crazy turn of events. Craig Gullickson, your points leader, finishes second. Thomas Carberry third. Eric Tupper going to finish fourth. Brad Doss to round out your top 5. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than that. As you just saw, one heck of a race, UMP modified action with the Ram Series tonight. As we're going to get top 3 interviews coming up here very momentarily. You see the fireworks going off. And let's go down to third place now. Thomas Carberry in the 47 car. Thomas Carberry, this Bradley Wilson, the backwards hat booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, man, you're going to start 7th, bring it home inside the top 3 tonight, although I know for a second there you could have been looking at a win. As the top 3 going to get together a little bit. Tell me about the racing out there for 40 laps and how that car felt for you tonight.
Yeah, it was that was some good racing. We had some close racing in the beginning there and kind of got spread out, and I just tried to hit my marks on the bottom, and I could run right there with Craig for, you know, a handful of laps. I was underneath of him, and I just couldn't get around him. I started moving around and lost some ground on them guys, but I seen the leaders battling towards the end, and we closed back in on them, and I was like, I might have a shot here.
Well, man, I talked to a few of the drivers, and, you know, before the new build and everything that came out last night, this track was known to be kind of bottom side dominant. Take rubber, lock down early, and just right around the berm. Tonight we saw, you know, for the most part, everybody up around the high side, high, wide, and handsome. Has it been a little bit of an adjustment since the new build?
Yeah, I mean, usually I never run the bottom here because I suck at it, and tonight I hit it about 35 out of 40 laps, which I was really surprised because when I tried to top a couple laps, I didn't have any drive, and I was losing ground on the leaders, so I just sucked it back to the bottom and just tried to hit my marks and not hit the berm.
Man, a lot of great racing, 40 laps, caution-free. You can't ask for more than that. Like I said, you started 7th, going to come up 3rd, so congratulations on that podium finish. Before we let you get down there and do a little celebrating with the team, does anybody want to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, just Big Show Promotions and 490 Designs. They put the skin on my car for me, and just the Ram Series and everybody that helps put this series on, and you for broadcasting it. Tonight was a blast.
Heck yeah, man, it was for us as well, and we look forward to seeing you back in action next week at that famed track out there in Rossburg, Ohio, Eldora Speedway.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Once again, that was Thomas Carberry in the 47 car out of New Jersey. As he started 7th, brought it home in the 3rd position. Congratulations to him on a great run. We're now going to talk with your points leader. Come up just one spot short, started 4th, going to finish 2nd. Craig Gullickson, this is Bradley Wilson, the backwards hat booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, got a little exciting there about the midway point. I saw you just, you know, you're riding in 3rd, making up a little ground, and all of a sudden the leaders get together. I got to think that was a eyes get big, hang on and see where we come out type of moment.
For sure, man. I thought I was going to come out with it. I didn't think Shorts was going to come that low, and we got together. But yeah, that broke my momentum up, and they got back away from me.
Man, 40 laps caution free. It's going to go green wire to wire. You know, like I said, you started in the 4th position, came away with second. Gonna think that points lead's going to be well intact, leaving week number 3 of the series. How is it out there tonight? A little bit. You don't see a lot of green flag all the way through all the time. So, what was it like out there as a driver and some of the challenges you went through?
I was just trying to stay patient. I knew that top groove was going to be fast at first after they worked the track again. And I was just waiting patient, trying to be smooth on the bottom, waiting for it to go away. I ventured up there a little bit, and they really pulled away from me, so I didn't have the car set up for it up top at all. So I just went back to the bottom and just kept running my line and slowly, like you said, reeling them in a little bit every lap. And it just, that top got harder and harder to hit, and they slowly came back to me.
Well, man, you were definitely one of the guys catfishing the bottom, but making it look good and moving towards the front. Like I said, congratulations on a 2nd place finish tonight after starting 4th. Before we let you go celebrate, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my team, Understeer Motorsports, Brad Doss, Justin Howard, and Kyle Vollringer.
Heck yeah, man. Well, congratulations once again. Going to come in the points leader, leave the points leader after a strong 2nd place finish. And we'll see you next week at Eldora.
For sure. Thanks, man.
Once again, that was Craig Gullickson. He's going to finish 2nd tonight. He was your points leader coming in. Great run for the driver out of the Midwest region. I'm going to talk to the man now from Victory Lane, who I know is probably one of the most excited in the building. Ronald Piles. That's Bradley Wilson, the backwards hat booth. You got a copy?
Woo! You bet I do. Whew.
Well,
What a race that was.
What a race it was indeed, man. 40 laps, green flag, wire to wire. You know, up through for the most part, throughout the first part of the race, it was you and Shirts nose to tail right up there around the cushion. And, you know, things looking good for you. And then midway, a little contact. I've got to wonder, maybe goes through your mind, oh no, not again, but able to rebound.
Yeah, I was out front there for a while. Fuel mileage had definitely played an issue tonight with a lot of guys, and getting out here after the new surface we talked about earlier, it definitely changed the amount of fuel that you needed for this race. I kind of messed with a little bit in warm up, see how much the car burned off, and watching the track change and the way the track changed, making it burn even more. So I went ahead and added a little extra than what I ran for the dash earlier. Went to about 12 gallons. Watching some of these guys, I mean, it was a great race between Doss and Gullickson and just everybody up front, even Shirts being up there with us. It's you know, it's one of those nights where you got to kind of tinker and see what happens and look at it going forward. With Doss and everybody running out of fuel, unfortunately for them, they did, you know, they had to run out of fuel. I was running the top and noticed I was burning more and more off running up there, so I had to. I had a nice little chunk of lead there for a while, and I had to cut that down by quite a good bit, as you guys got to watch tonight. Noticing that I was getting lower and lower on fuel as the night went on, and where she sits right now, I'm actually out of fuel.
Well, we've got a good look at it sitting there on pit road. It made it the 40 laps green to checkered, though. Man, I want to talk to you a little for just a second about, as you mentioned, you were right up there along the cushion, you know, high, wide, and handsome, that thin line that I always talk about between being fast and wrecked. For 40 laps, you know, no greens, no time to catch your breath. How mind-wracking or how, you know, nerve-wracking is it to have to run up there and know that you've got to be consistent, because one little slip-up and you're over the cushion, you could be in the wall?
Yeah, it definitely plays with you a little bit, especially when, you know, there's multiple things that you could do and you don't know what's going on behind you. You can kind of take an idea at it, but if somebody happens to find something behind you that starts to run you down, you really have no idea what's going on. I know I was kind of burping the throttle a little more and they just trying to save fuel. If I wouldn't have done that, when I started noticing that, I probably wouldn't be sitting where I'm at right now. It was a great race with Gully. Really excited about that finish. He tried a last-ditch effort. I really wish he'd been a little closer, but not that you hear that very often. But I like close finishes like that, whether I take the win or not. But definitely a great victory for me tonight here, and the adrenaline rush you get from this is just amazing. And I've been doing this for about 8 years, so the adrenaline rush you get from racing in general never fades. If it fades, you've lost your fun.
Well, man, 3 weeks down now, you're going to be the winner of week number 3. We're going to hit the halfway point at another famous track, Rossburg, Ohio, the Eldora Speedway. I've got to think that this is a little bit of momentum builder, and maybe see some things start clicking off a little later in the year.
Well, I'm on a vacation next week. I'm going to go home, jump in the real car, and take it out. So other than that little break, I'll be back in full swing after that.
Well, man, congratulations on the win once again. You started from the pole, led it flag to flag. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kyle Ramsey for putting on the Ram Series race here, and I want to thank Backwards Hat Productions for being here. And I also thank my teammates over at Harm Motorsports. Congratulations to Eric and Brett on their top 10 finishes tonight as well. I want to thank all the guys that come over here and support the Ram Series that make the racing such an amazing place to come to. And pretty much about it.
Well, man, go celebrate the win. It is a big one, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good night.
Once again, that was your winner tonight. He led it from the green to the checkered. That's going to be Ronald Piles in the 68 car, the West Virginia native. As, not much can be said that wasn't said during that race. A great race, 40 laps, flag to flag. Kyle Ramsey, I know not in attendance tonight, but brother, if you're out there watching, you've got to love what you saw tonight. As if you want to get in the action, I know Kyle's not here, but I'll speak with him speak for him. If you like what you saw, you want to get off the sidelines, get in the game, message them over at the Ram Series on Facebook. They'll be more than happy to talk with you. Great UMP action every Thursday night. As this was week number 3 of 8. That's going to just about wrap it up here from the Knoxville Raceway. Once again, I am Bradley Wilson. This was Backwards Hat Productions. We hope everybody enjoyed this evening's broadcast. We'll be off the rest of the week. I know one night back, and we're going to take some nights off, but I promise you we'll be back in action next Wednesday night with the Mid-South Virtual Racing League and their presentation of the Short Track Nationals, the final week of that. You won't want to miss it. Then we'll be back here on Thursday night once again for the UMP action from the Eldora Speedway with a Ram Series. Once again, this was the never widely imitated, never duplicated Backwards Hat Productions. I'm getting all this rust shook off before next week, but I'm Bradley Wilson. I sure appreciate you coming and hanging out with me on this Thursday night. I hope you all enjoyed the action, and have a safe weekend, and until we see you again, have a good night.